Welcome back to the Ireland Contracting Nightly Sports Call. Josh Taylor, Paul Zeise. We're here hanging out, taking your questions. 412-575-2600 is the number. Also taking your tweets at Josh Taylor HD. We got a first tweet of the night, Paul. It says, I can't call into the show because analytics has me resting tonight. Simply asinine.
Yes.
Gee, I wonder what they're talking about.
Of course. Well, I mean, again, that's the way the Pirates do things. I don't like a lot of the moves that they make when it comes to resting guys. Now that they're in this thing, you got to win every single night. But every so often, if you're going to do it, you know, I don't have a problem actually tonight with tonight being the night that they're going to try and do it.
There's really...
Now, here's the thing. If Sunday we've got a Sunday lineup.
Especially when they're off Monday.
Right.
And now here's the thing. Because if you lay it out, you either do it now or you do it against Minnesota or you do it when you come back and you're at home. So anyway you stack it up.
And you're not going to do it against the Cubs.
Timing. Right. You're not going to do it against Chicago. So anytime you do it, it's not going to look good. It's going to be bad timing regardless.
To me, I probably would have done it against the Twins because that game probably is the one that, you know, those games are the ones that don't matter.
It's the one that affects you the least, right?
Yeah,
That's
exactly.
what I'm thinking. I'm thinking if you do it against Minnesota, not against San Francisco, because San Francisco's right behind you in the wild card race.
Right.
So that's something that still sticks. Now, granted, they're further back than you are, but they're still mathematically in it.
But the thing about it is you have a day off in between San Francisco and...
You have a day off in between. So no matter how you add it up, and I've gone through, if you're looking through your timeline on Twitter, I will guarantee you about 9 out of 10 people you know will hate this move, because that's what I'm finding.
Right.
Just by looking at the ratio of people that hate this move. I haven't found one person that said, what's a good idea? That hasn't happened yet. So what we will do now is we will go to the phone lines. We will start with Josiah in San Antonio. Josiah, you're on the Nightly Sports Call. Hello there.
Josh, thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to talk about yesterday, the preseason game.
Mm-hmm.
I know it was preseason, but the Steelers' linebacking core is terrible, and I know they're trying to use this 3 to 4 different linebacker core to try to cover for Shazier, but Tyler Matakevich is not the answer. He's too small. And my other question is, why won't they sign Lawrence Timmons? You could probably get him for a cheap deal and just see what he can get, because this linebacker core looks terrible.
They tried something similar to that with Sean Spence, Paul. Now, here's the thing. If you want to really break this down, Sean Spence is actually younger than Lawrence Timmons, and it still didn't work. Lawrence Timmons was in the first draft class that Mike Tomlin ever had.
Yeah, he's 10 years in, but to the point is, if you can get him real cheap, this is a team, and look, desperate times call for desperate measures. Maybe you hit lightning in a bottle and get 12, 15 snaps out of him a game.
But if they bring in Lawrence Timmons and he looks bad, why'd you bring him in? He's old. That's the first complaint we hear.
Well,
it's
that's
probably
okay.
a bad idea.
But I think most people, most people will look at this linebacking core and say, I would do it, just see what he can do. I'm not saying Timmons, but I would go out and put it this way. Any free agent linebacker out there, I might call to come, because here's the thing. You've got 2 outside linebackers that are supposed to be the stars of your defense by now. They're first-round picks.
And they're both hurt.
They're both hurt, and I think the jury's way out on still both of them, especially Bud Dupree. Vince Williams was pretty productive when he had Shazier next to him. After Shazier got hurt, Vince Williams looked a whole lot like a backup linebacker. And you've got John Bostic, who is like, basically one hit away from being out for the year because he gets hurt all the time.
He has an injury history, too.
I agree with the caller. I don't know if Timmons is the guy I'd call, but I might even call. I don't know who I would call.
Here's the reason why I asked the question about Timmons, because that was brought up last year, and people didn't like it.
Yeah, but
last year people didn't like it. Now they like it. I wonder what changed.
Well, they don't have Ryan Shazier. That's a big part.
I'm talking about after Shazier was out. Well, the topic of Lawrence Timmons had been breached, and people didn't like it.
Well, I don't remember that. I just remember last summer. But when they had Shazier
on this show,
when they had Shazier, they had a lot of guys. I mean, that's middle of the season. We're talking about preseason right now.
I understand that, but it happened on this very show where the thought of Lawrence Timmons was brought up, and it was met with total derision.
I think people got a chance to see what the defense looks like with these linebackers. That's probably why people say, you know what, let's go for. I don't mind Timmons. I don't care who it is. They need help. Put it that way. It doesn't matter to me who it is. Whatever linebackers out there that might play, you know what I'm saying?
You didn't bring up anything we didn't know in January, is my point.
What?
You didn't bring up anything we didn't know in January what this defense looks like without Ryan Shazier. We saw that in January.
Yeah, but they could have used a first-round pick on a linebacker. They could have signed a free agent linebacker. They could have done – now they haven't done any of that stuff. Now we're in preseason, and it's kind of like, you know what, this isn't working.
Gone in the first round when it got around to them was 3 or 4 were already gone.
Trade up for on. I mean, this to me was the most glaring hole on the team was linebacker.
I don't disagree with that.
So to me, I don't think this is at all at this point. Any and all things should be tried to come up with some linebackers for this team. Because I'm going to tell you, if this linebacking group doesn't get better, this defense is not going to be better.
Here's the one thing they might have to hold out hope for, is that somebody becomes a cap casualty by the end of training camp.
Yeah, absolutely.
That might be their best hope. Because other than that, I'm with you on this.
Or,
be the guy.
Or they do what they're talking about doing, which is have Terrell Edmonds play like a hybrid in a lot of different sub packages,
They can't do that.
You only put 3 linebackers out there.
They can't do it every down.
No, they can't do it every down, but maybe they do it enough that they can hide some of the mess. I just think that this.
We'll hate that by November. I'm telling you that.
But it depends. I
don't like it.
I don't know that I like these 4 linebackers.
If Terrell Edmonds is the answer to fixing your linebacker problem,
it's not.
Your linebacker problem is worse than you.
It is. It is bad. That's what I'm trying. To me, desperate times call for desperate measures. And to me, everything should be on the table for the Steelers, including going out and signing a geriatric Lawrence Timmons and seeing if he can actually give you 10 or 12 snaps a game. That I'm not saying it, necessarily just him, but there's got to be guys out there on the scrap heap that maybe you can bring here and they find the fountain of youth or whatever.
God, I hope so. God, I hope so, because the safety won't solve it. I can't get behind it.
Unless you go, unless you go 4-3. There's a lot of different things you can do.
They did show a little bit of that 4-3 stack yesterday.
They
showed it.
Right, so.
Did it work?
That's kind of the way you got to do things, is just kind of figure out how you get your best 11 guys on the field. And to me, again, now maybe Watt and Dupree will become the players you thought they were, supposed to be.
You got to hope at this point.
But
you got to hope. Because if they don't, then what? Because if you have a hole in the middle in the linebacker position, and then the 2 guys on the outside aren't working out, what do you do then? What's the next?
If you can't get pressure,
search for the microphone.
If you can't get pressure,
we'll fix the microphone.
Okay.
Okay.
If you can't get pressure from the outside, you've got some problems. Because now you've got 2 guys that I don't think are particularly really good in coverage either, in Dupree and in Watt, who aren't getting pressure and aren't covering.
I would say of the 2 that Watt is probably the better of the 2, but better comparatively, but not in terms of he's great at it.
No.
Pretty much better by default. But your point's well taken. And it does come back around to this, and we're already seeing problems now with those 2 guys not playing. Bud Dupree concussion protocol, so we really don't know when he'll be back.
Yeah.
TJ Watt, his looks more minor, and they're probably just resting him up to have him ready for the season. But let's just talk in terms of what if one of those 2 guys doesn't pan out? So then you still have a problem in the middle and a problem on one side of your defense.
Exactly.
It still becomes a pretty
I think that's
problem.
Actually probably what's going to happen.
I would expect.
I think one of those 2 will pan out, the other one won't, and I got to be sold on this Matakevich or Bostic and Williams in the middle. I just don't see it.
And if I have to pick amongst the 3 right now, I'm probably the most confident in John Bostic. Probably. Only because he's done it long.
Except for the problem is he gets hurt a lot.
He didn't get hurt last year. He played most of last year and did pretty well for the Colts. Yeah. That might be the only thing we have to go off of. Because if that's the case, his resume might be the best by default. Which once again puts you back in a situation comparatively better as opposed to just being actually good.
Oh, yeah.
So that's a bigger problem.
That's a big problem. I think that's the one glaring weakness on the Steelers is their linebacking group.
I would totally agree with that. We will take a break because that was like a big cornucopia of linebacker talk that we just had. So we will take a break. We come back. We'll maybe even answer some Pyro questions. We'll see.